Good evening, welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. What we are looking at when we look at our letters and not so much the comments these days, but actually due to the fact that our comments are disabled, we're getting a lot more email and thereby some important feedback about what's needed. And we've got a series of questions, 4 questions which we think would handle a lot of the questions that come up so often. So we're going to do this as a kind of a relationship as pertaining to Filipinas and expats, Filipinas and foreigners, and we're going to do this as a series. So that's what you'll be looking at, one of the first point of a series. Beth, as you may know, Beth does the research on our channel, and as a result of that, some of the content on our channel is from her, in that she will send me on a quest of doing, say, 4 or 5 videos in an evening. Now in this particular case, she's actually given me 4. She's given me 5 questions to deal with in separate questions. So I'll pose a question as she's given it to me, and then we'll look at what the question actually inspires. So the first question is this, on this particular video, is marrying a Filipina. Why are so many men choosing to marry a Filipina? Well, I'm not Beth. Beth chooses this as a question. Now, my first question was, when she told me this, well, are so many men choosing to marry a Filipina? And based on her research, she said, yes, they are. So the question, why are they marrying Filipinas? Well, you have to go back to what I think of as the westernization of other women, and the Philippine nation as a whole are different thinkers. They are different thinkers. They are, as far as I can see, they are much more family oriented. So they're more family oriented. They're more, if you think about that example that I usually use, where you plop a pebble into the middle of a pond, and you get the plop, and then you get the main subject, you get the main disturbance of the water, and then you get a concentric circle, and the circles keep going out. They keep going out like this in this huge expanding thing. And in a way that deals with the way that in the center of things, where things are so much more advanced, especially in places like California, they're often accused unfairly and often accused rightly for bringing out some of the crazy ideas. When I was in California, I did notice that you will walk along the street, you'll walk along Ventura Boulevard, which is a fairly wealthy sort of area, and you will see some state-of-the-art bodies straight from Silicon Valley, and with their own kind of Silicon Valley. And that's where these cosmetic surgeons are pushing the envelope on this. So whereas you might get a woman, we're talking about the westernization of women now, okay, so and the idealization of a particular form on women. Now, what you may have is, you may have quite a slender woman who is flat-chested. I'm not going to try to be politically correct here. If the woman is flat-chested, she is not overflowing with breasts. Okay, so she may feel, because of the pressure of the way that the way that the figure of a woman is going there, she may feel the pressure, and so she wants to have breasts as well. And there's, if you've got the money, there's an easy way to do it, and then you will have what they have romantically called a good rack. Yeah. Who said romance was dead? So you may well walk along the boulevard and see women checking themselves out in store windows. A friend of mine came from Florida, and while she was there staying with, and we were walking along, doing exactly what I'm talking about now, walking along, and she said, "Wow, that girl was checking herself out." In other words, she's passing a man, and normally a woman, whatever standard, assuming that a man is good looking enough, attractive enough, she'll check him out. I know that that's what men do when they pass women, they check them out. So it was a surprise to my friend, who's a female, that the woman was actually, rather than looking at anybody else, was checking herself out. Now here's an ironic aspect of this, is that women often, who are slender figures, when they go to see a surgeon who is going to cosmetically help them along, they will be encouraged to go a size bigger than they thought they were comfortable with. And you can see this sometimes in the fact that a woman will now be quite well endowed on her bust line, but is slightly embarrassed by it. In other words, it's gone beyond her comfort zone very quickly. She probably gets used to it very quickly, but now she's entered into another field and can be much more demanding on what she considers is the kind of catch that she would be happy getting in a man. And somewhere along the line, men, certainly in America, start to get the feeling that they don't have a chance, because if they do walk up and try and introduce themselves, then they might get rebuffed. Maybe that's true, maybe it's not, because I also see on YouTube, I see videos that are made, I assume are genuine, where the man says, "Hey, it's easy, you just go up and introduce yourself and say, 'Hey, I'm Jim, and I thought you were very attractive.'" Now, in the cases that I've seen on video to support the guy's premise, then the woman has said, "Oh, great," and there'll be some awesome looking women that they do this to, so they're not doing it to women who have little chance of attracting a man in normal circumstances. Now, long before I ever met Beth, I spent a lot of time, a number of years, as a single parent, trying to get a date. By the time I'd finished putting my kid to bed and being what I was hoping was a good father, working, trying to make ends meet, the idea of a date became a little bit like climbing Mount Everest, So it was difficult for a while. And under those circumstances, men in the West often end up on dating sites of foreign women. Now, some of these foreign women are genuine and some are not. A video about those who are not is a whole other video. So what we're looking at now is we're looking at the idea that there is a section of women who are on these foreign dating sites. For instance, South America is very big on this, and also Russia. And if you go on a Russian site, there are some extremely beautiful women, blonde, blue eyes. if that's your choice. And they are interested in the West. Now, from the West, maybe from the West we're the walking wounded, and when we go to that other country, we're just surprised if women are prepared to talk to us. And I commonly, when I was looking with the possibility of finding someone, say, on a Russian site, I used to watch the videos there where they show on the Russian sites and also on the South American sites, if you go on those, they do tours. So they do tours and they take, I don't know, 5 or 10 or 15 guys who are interested in meeting women for various reasons, mostly seeking a partner. And they take them there, and then they lay on a huge party, and for whatever the agency has to offer, 15 or 20 or 50 or 60 women who are interested in finding someone. And one of the sites that I looked at for South America, I think it was actually in, let me see, in Mexico. And what they did was they had an audience of women who were there looking over the prospects, and guys got the chance to stand up and say, "Hi, my name's Jim, and I'm this old, and I'm this weight, and I'm looking for a woman who is interested in," and they'd give a little bit about themselves, and obviously a little bit about the kind of woman that they were hoping to meet. And I noticed that this was the same in the Russian sites as well. So, marrying a Filipino, why are so many choosing the Filipinas? The Filipinas are traditionally soft. Believe me, they're not submissive. They are great organizers and very clear thinkers. If you get someone, given, of course, the intelligence of the person and some kind of upbringing, some kind of quality, spiritual leanings, as we talked about before, then, you will get a woman who is specially Filipina. And like I said, they are very much attached to family, so they're very loyal to their family. They're loyal to their friends. They've got friends that they've had from being, say, in kindergarten. So that's the kind of woman that you're going to get. And you can only realize this when you get here, that you are able to approach any woman and really say, "Hi, my name is, I'm not very good at this, you might say, but I really thought that you were very attractive, and I wondered if you are you committed to a relationship, and if you're not, then can we talk?" And even if the woman was married, I can remember joking to a lady who was very attractive in a store, and it was to whatever the purpose was. I made a flirty comment, and I said, "Wow, this is really wonderful. How do you put this together?" And she showed it, and I said, "Well, perhaps you could come home with me and show me how to put it together." And she said, "No, I'm sorry, sir. That's very kind of you to say that, but I'm married." And I said, "Hope I didn't offend you. I was only joking." So, a man coming out here, why are they choosing to marry? Because they're accepted. Because they can come out here and without being a Mr. Romeo, without being a Mr. Wonderful, without thinking that they are wonderfully handsome and that any woman is lucky enough to have them, they can come out here and have a chance, a second chance, or for some people it's more than a second chance. See, so that's the question. Marrying a Filipina. Why are so many choosing to marry a Filipina? Because of that reason. They can come here and they don't need to go to one of these parties where the women are there to meet someone, because women in the Philippines are open to talking and being nice. That's what I see is the difference. I hope this is an encouragement to you to go on to the next question, which is number 2. So thank you, Beth, for this one, and we'll look at the next one in this series. Bye for now. This is A Foreigner in the Philippines.